It's not all about the adrenaline. That's the smallest part of it. It's the hard work, it's finding out something about yourself. You come out and you work in the woods all summer long, it's bound to do something good for you. You'll come into this job and you'll push yourself harder than you could have ever imagined. All right, so go over real quick everything that's going on. The map is not big enough, obviously. So plan for the day, go in, finish up our chunk of line. It's pretty much done. You guys just have some snagging to do. There's some line improvement through the real grassy stuff. So looking at the new primary line, because of what we scouted yesterday, what was already in place became contingency. My guess would be if we had to start defensively firing, it's going to be right off this saddle probably. So that would be my assumption, probably just to start it there and buffer this corner. So, okay, load up. It's hard to describe what it's like out on the line. I've got friends and family that see everything in the news and, you know, they assume that's what I do. We try and paint the picture for people, but it doesn't really come together until you see the work that's being done on the ground.
Engine 312, Craig Bravo 1, attack.
Craig Bravo 1, engine 312.
Hey, yeah, we just passed you on the road. We got one of those trees down here that could use water sooner rather than later.
Copy, we'll roll straight to you.
Copy, thanks. So you got that one I was standing by right there.
Okay.
And then this guy here as well. Logan says all the time that we are land managers that are really good at fighting fire. But our primary goal is not to save every tree, because obviously the forest does need to burn. But if a really beautiful tree that's been there for a long time doesn't need to go onto the ground, and if we don't need to cut it down, we'll absolutely leave it. What are you thinking? It's got a very slight downhill lean and a great canopy lean this way, so downhill, and that'd be primary, secondary. I think I can hit this way without putting a ton of the tree in the road. Nice cut! Tree coming down! Away from the line! I first thought about fire in high school. I needed to make some money, I needed a summer job, so I just went out on the engines. And I saw what Hot Shots did, and I thought it was really, really cool. From then on out, I just called crews, trying to figure out who I could get with. And finally, I landed on Craig. And, you know, when I called my second year, I was like, all right, I'm putting my app in, here's this. And he was like, yeah, man, you got no chance type of thing. But we can help you get here. And that was one of the biggest things to hear over the phone, was like, we can build you to be able to be a candidate for this crew. My first year here, it was a brand new crew. There was only 3 returning. And then my second year, everybody came back. And then the third year, all of those people moved on to really, really great opportunities of jumping, rappelling, or shot crews near their hometowns, and really got the opportunities that they wanted out of their career.
You know, being a hotshot is more than just swinging tools or cutting down trees. It's hard work, but I think mentally being able to overcome obstacles that are constantly thrown at us is way more important than the physical aspect of it. You know, we're trying to build career firefighters. We're trying to build land managers, and a lot of crews are broadening their perspectives into prescribed fire, into getting people detail opportunities to make them more well-rounded firefighters. Your final tree is whatever that final cut is. You can do whatever you're gonna do on that, but just protect all those other back cuts with a pocket or a nose or whatever.
Other than that, the only option I see is the front. Yep.
Traditionally, being a hotshot was all about how hard can you work, how much misery can you put up with, and that's still relevant for sure, but we're trying to make it more than that.
You guys can start on refurb. Yeah, they're gonna like, what the hell
Sorry.
Sorry. Easy. I know, dude. Six Echo Charlie, Craig 3.
Yeah, back. What can I do?
Okay, you know, priority is trying to hold this ridge right now. So any area that's bumping the ridge line and that you can be effective in it. I think right now we got 3 fingers that are coming up. Hey, 6 Echo Charlie, Craig 3.
Yeah, is that working? Any feedback on that?
You know, I can't see over this next little sub-ridge, kind of where you're dropping. I'll see if I can, still working my way around to the other side, see if I can get better eyes on it for you. Hey, Katie or Manny, Chris on crew.
Good.
Hey, we got a finger that's starting to come up the drainage pretty hard. Are you guys in a good spot? We got a lookout still up top.
We're at the rig.
Okay, is anybody else in there?
Negative.
Okay. Right now, the rest of the crew is out prepping some of the indirect line that had been put in by the heavy equipment a few days ago. So they're just coming and fine tuning. And you know, ultimately, I think the plan is going to be to fire the indirect piece out from the top of the burn scar back down to where our rigs were parked this morning.
Yesterday was a pretty big fire day over on the other side of the fire on the northeast divisions, and I think today will be even more so. So we'll see what it brings. And then looking at the weather forecast tomorrow, it's even more, I think, single digit and higher winds. So yeah, we're about to see what this thing wants to do again. All right, so night shift again. Obviously, there's fire coming down the hill. The goal for tonight is to close it off from Weber on the steep chunk and dozer line where we've been. Firing, Jeff and Katie will be doing firing, Chris will be doing holding, and then Chase will also be doing a small firing operation down in the bottom towards the end of the night to tie it in.
So the plan for us is to just kind of finish off this last little piece, like from where like the end of the holders were down there. So we're gonna go up kind of just on the other side of this little dozer push. Like we're gonna go up the ridge a little ways, and then we're gonna start bringing fire down the ridge. Probably have like the 3 torches, and then if I need to shoot rounds, I'll start shooting rounds a little bit deeper. And then we'll just bring fire around this road just the exact same way we walked up, and then back down and around to the black. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like working this piece, headed down.
Okay.
Logan, Katie. Yeah, hey, we're about to get started.
Okay, copy. Yeah, and just, burning and, as quickly as you can do it, moderately would be preferred.
Okay, copy. Yeah, I think we'll go pretty light on the fuel. It's pretty dry in this ridge.
Copy.
All right, Eli. To me, a good crew boss is somebody who would never ask you to do something that they wouldn't do. Who's always looking out for their people, and like always putting the crew first. You think about somebody like Logan. The first project we did, those guys chopped up and they were cutting, or they were digging. They were always there with the crew, like doing the exact same jobs that they were asking us to do. And yeah, they'll go out, they'll look at the big picture, make the plans, but then they'll come back to the crew and they'll help do the work. It's a really good quality in a leader.
Yeah, Katie, go ahead.
Hey, are you still kind of working on the ridge?
Yeah, I'm making one more pass and I'll be at that tree pretty soon. Stop.
So if you want to come make a pass like up to this, like maybe this like pondo right here, and then one more pass back, like just kind of the top of this dead end down, and then we'll like start moving this way, working the ridge around that corner, and then we'll reline out and we'll just hit this like at once, like all working that way. So like up in here, like up on this ridge, and then around this landing, and then like along the road. I wanted to get on a hotshot crew on the first fire I ever went to. Kind of noticed like the hotshot crews always getting the best assignments and doing like the most fun looking stuff, and that's kind of just what I wanted to do. My favorite aspect about fighting fires is that you get to go all over the country to places a lot of people don't get to go. You get to know 20 other people really well, and you guys all kind of suffer together through the same long, miserable shifts, and you build a really strong team that is able to accomplish tasks that most people would probably not be able to do. I think that being on a hotshot crew is probably the hardest I'll ever work in my life. I like to work hard, that's part of why I'm here, How's it going? Is it going? Where are they?
They're right down there.
I mean, are they far, or how far do they go?
Maybe 200 foot down, 250 foot down, maybe.
Just going real slow,
It's going real.
out of necessity.
Might be worth having you guys bump down and help them chase out. I think there's only 3 of them down there.
Okay, do they need more lighters, more?
Potentially, yeah, lighters
Okay.
and holders. So we're gonna have them bring that fire right there all the way. It's kind of hard to see through the smoke, but you
I can see
it.
their lighter.
Yeah, see the open timber coming down the dozer line? We're gonna bring it all the way down through that and then hold it once it hits that heavier timber.
Yeah, I'll hit up Chase. I guess we could, or Russ could go down there. Jace, Katie.
Hey, Katie.
Hey, just tied in with Clay up here. He's saying the four of us could possibly bump down and tie in with you guys, help you out on that piece. Does that work for you?
I mean, hey, firm, Katie, if you guys aren't needed up there, yeah, we'll take you. You know, all we have is the engine holders.
Copy. Yeah, we'll head down.
Okay, copy.
Since I started back in 2002, one aspect that's changed in fire is just the idea that, you know, as hotshots, we're going to go down and beat the fire into submission. And, you know, we think a lot differently now of really what's the best way to accomplish a task. What's the best strategy or tactic to get around this fire? We'll go out and we'll still work hard every day. We'll give it 110%, but we're not going to just go out and do work just for the sake of doing work. You know, if we're doing busy work just to be busy, you know, we're taking on additional risks all the time. You want to switch me, or are you going to hang up here?
Yeah.
This is the empty.
How much?
I just
Did you
topped,
combine them?
I just topped him off to like 3/4, so they're good for a while. You know, ultimately, it's still my responsibility to make sure everyone comes home at the end of the day and after every roll. And so, really, if I can focus on how to do things efficiently and safely, you know, that's going to achieve that objective and really provide a little better physical and mental health for people.
Fire! You got your ear pro in, man? You're good?
You know, there are times when we're just sitting by the road, waiting to see what the fire is going to do, waiting to engage. You know, sometimes we're in the public view and people don't necessarily like that. You know, they see us sitting there and while the fire's blowing up and they just look at it like, hey, why aren't you guys in there doing something? And it's like, well, we can't. You know, there's nothing we can do right now that we can accomplish safely. And so we need to take a step back, make sure everyone's in a safe spot, and come up with a better plan.
It was like down by Christmas.
You want to bump in there? Yeah. About where he started, come down a little bit, and take some dots back.
It's not like we're not working hard, we're not taking on risk. There's always going to be risk. It's just a matter of how much risk is acceptable and where that line is. We spend 100 days plus out on the line some seasons, and you know, the more we're out there, the more the risk is going to add up. And so eventually, if you're taking risks that you shouldn't, you know, one of those might catch up with you. I mean, one bad decision has that potential to have the absolute worst consequence.
We'll just do, I guess we could just do 4 of you. How's yours for people? You got enough fuel?
Just over half.
Okay. Maybe we'll do you, Brittany, and then these two, and you guys just do one more pass to that fire. And then we can bump out to the line, and we'll, did you guys hear what Chase was saying?
Okay.
We'll just like all work together to bring it back.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Conrad? Evan? Yes. Okay, where's Brittany? We'll talk to her. Mary,
You want to be this end, Jake?
Hey, man, you got the burners here. We're gonna make one more pass high up on the slope, and then we're gonna bump out to the line, tie in with David's group, and work from that other end. So you guys feel good about that piece. You grab the holders, and we'll meet you over kind of where the dozer line took off to the west.
Copy.
What's their stick, man? Are we just throwing them?
Yeah, just do like maybe like 20 feet off each other. We'll do one big swath.
It's not the easiest job. It really takes a lot of commitment physically to put the work in to where you can be effective at the job. mentally, it takes so much to focus on the safety of yourself and the crew. It really takes its toll, and it takes a lot of commitment. It can be extremely frustrating when you're beating your head against the wall every day and you're trying something new and you're losing a burn every day, or you're putting in line and it's not holding. You just want one plan to actually stick. You want one thing to work, or you want a little reprieve in the weather or the fire behavior where, you know, you come up with a good plan and it actually works and you can actually make progress. And that's really what's kept me coming back, is those days that we can really feel good about the work we went out and did. And, you know, I feel like we really made a difference. Those days are important. And I can't really imagine doing anything else. Who's the furthest burner in on your side, Chase?
That's me.
Okay, yeah. You got me over here.
Hey, Firm. You do. So this is about as far as I'm going to go, and there's a little, like you're saying, a sub draw on this side, so I'm just going to put some stuff on the top of it.
Okay, yeah, I'm shooting straight across to you, and then Manny will cut the rest in half. We'll pick him up and get out.
Okay, copy. I'll just walk this pass out, and then you guys are good.
Copy. And take that side, and we'll just zigzag back and forth and pick it out. Copy. Despite all the risks, despite all the hard things about the job, you know, I do know that I love it, and it's why I keep coming back all the time. You know, and ultimately, if we can make a difference and keep these places around for future generations to enjoy, that's just another big part of it. You know, I think it's not for everyone. Some people are gonna like it, some people are gonna hate it, but for the people that can really commit to it, deal with the sacrifices that it takes, it's truly a job that changes your life, and, you know, something you can be proud of every day. Night Division, Craig, TAC 5.
Okay, thanks, go ahead.
Yeah, we're complete with ignitions.
I copy. All tied in. Everything looks really good from out here.
Good to hear. Thanks.
Circle up!
We got everybody? Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Yeah! Thank you.
No, he wasn't there for the talk, so maybe.
Alright, who wants a muffin? Chris doesn't want it. You want it?
Oh, Chris. Birthday muffin.
Please. Didn't even touch it.